A second prototype of China's very heavy aircraft, J-36, has now emerged, and the visible refinements compared to the first airframe strongly suggest this program remains deep in development, rather than on the brink of production. Many earlier assessments implied the first example was near production representative. The new imagery challenges that view. The new photos of this second prototype surfaced on social media today, showing the aircraft in flight from multiple angles. The location appears to be near Chengdu Aircraft Corporation's major plant in Chengdu City, where the first prototype was publicly spotted on December 26, 2024. While the overall modified Delta or double Delta flying wing layout remains, the second prototype incorporates some major visible changes. Exhaust and nozzles. The first J-36 prototype had its three-engine exhausts recessed behind the trailing edge on the upper fuselage, a configuration that mirrored the low observable design of the U.S. Northrop YF-23. In contrast, the second prototype appears to feature three angular exhaust nozzles that bear resemblance to 2D thrust vectoring nozzles, such as those on the Lockheed F-22 Raptor. If accurate, this shift has significant implications. If full 2D vectoring is present, why incorporate it on such a large, heavy multi-role strike-oriented platform? One possibility. The design may now prioritize higher agility and fighter-like performance. It may also reflect the instability inherent in tailless configurations. Vectoring provides enhanced control authority at high maneuver states, high altitudes, or high speeds. Alternatively, what we're seeing might be a simpler thrust vector flap rather than a full 2D nozzle redesign, less complex and lower weight, but still useful. Either way, the new serrated trailing structure and less hidden exhaust imply a trade-off. Likely improved maneuver control for some stealth or signature penalty, at least from the rear aspect. Notably, adding thrust vectoring nozzles adds mass and complexity, but on a platform as large as the J-36, that weight penalty may be marginal in context, though any stealth eye or trade-off could matter in contested air defense environments. Inlets and landing gear. The original inlets of the first prototype featured a dorsal diverter less supersonic inlet and two lower carrot-shaped trapezoidal intakes. The second prototype appears to have replaced the lower intakes with full DSI-style inlets whose lower lips sweep forward, a common trait in stealth-optimized fighters. If correct, this change signals improved emphasis on signature reduction, supersonic performance, and internal airflow optimization. The first prototype's main landing gear used a tandem two-wheeled arrangement, an indicator of heavy weight and large structure. In the second prototype, the main gear appears to have been redesigned. A twin-wheel side-by-side truck configuration has replaced the tandem layout. While this change may require deeper stowage wells, fewer or smaller doors, and simpler geometry could yield benefits in structural weight, gear reliability, and area footprint. This is a relatively dramatic redesign, suggesting major structural rework rather than mere incremental tweaks. Other takeaways. A less elaborate air data probe projecting from the nose of the second prototype is observed, though image quality limits confidence. There are likely further shaping refinements around the intake fuselage blending, trailing edge surfaces, and upper deck structures. These are harder to confirm at present. Given the scale of the machine and such significant changes, it remains clear that the J-36 remains in an iterative flight test demonstration phase. This is not a final design. One interpretation is that the second airframe may represent an alternative configuration rather than a straight evolution, although the conservative view is that it is indeed the next step in the same program. Strategic and program context. China's progress on advanced combat aircraft is impressive. Publicly available intelligence and imagery place the J-36 as a major leap in scale, stealth, and systems complexity. That said, it would be premature to characterize the J-36 as production-ready. The changes between prototypes suggest considerable development remains. Some commentary has framed China's next-gen fighter development through an aggressive China competition lens. While partially valid, it is important to ground claims in concrete observable change rather than hype. The discovery of major redesigns, especially landing gear and exhaust systems, refutes earlier claims that the first prototype was already near final configuration. Conclusion. In short, the second J-36 prototype's visible changes underscore that China is moving very fast, but also still refining. The design remains dynamic. The outward appearance provides a compelling snapshot of China's ambition for a heavy tailless, highly stealthy, long-range multi-role fighter strike aircraft. But one should be cautious about elevating this to an imminent production asset. For now, the J-36 remains a demonstrator with many design decisions still under evolution.